Okay.
Okay, we're streaming.
No. Are we?
Yeah, it says here on my side.
It says redirecting to Facebook Live.
And it says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook on my side.
Okay. Let me verify that. So yes, it says live on Facebook. So now I'm gonna attempt to go to the stream so I can see people's comments. So maybe people are already watching, so.
Could be. If you're watching, say hi to us so we know. We had a little bit of technical difficulties here, so apologies. Anybody there?
Yes, we have 4 people viewing.
Oh, good.
Now,
There.
hopefully, so now I'm looking for a way to actually see their comments.
Just to say for those who are on, Zoom is the way that we've gotten onto Facebook Live, and Zoom is in the midst of changing things.
Sydney, hi Sydney.
Hey, Sydney.
Sorry to interrupt. I got excited.
Okay.
And then we also have Serena. Hi. She says,
Hi,
hi,
Serena.
on this forum. Danielle, hi.
Hi.
So let's give it a few more moments. Okay, Jenny?
All right.
6 people are watching.
And who else came on?
If you're watching, say hi to us so we know you're there. I don't know how to see who is watching if they don't say hi. Sydney says, hi, I'm here, but had a little trouble getting the link to work. Hi, good to see you both.
Hi. That's okay. We had a little technical difficulties too.
Yeah, just a little bit. 9 people. 10 people.
Yay. Say hi so we know you're there.
Sophie, hi. Sophie says, yoo-hoo.
Hi, Sophie.
Oh, this is so fun. 10 people so far.
Great.
11.
So when you come on, just say hi and we'll start pretty soon.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way I could figure out that I could actually see who's hopping on too, because I'm not able to see that. So Leila has different screens and she tells me who's there. So just so you know.
All right. Shall we start?
Sure.
It's 8:08.
And just to say, Leila, your picture froze a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's, so I guess Zoom is having their congestion.
Perhaps.
Okay. So any more people to say hi to, and then we'll start. Okay.
Yep.
So I just want to thank you all for gathering this morning with us. And we're excited to do another live with you. You know, when we planned this, it was kind of like not being able to figure out which day we wanted to do it. And we decided on Sunday. And just to say that our other teammate, Debbie, since she does celebrate the holidays in her her religion, today is Palm Sunday, which is kind of an interesting day to have this, because this is when people gather together to commune and connect with each other from their hearts and their minds and their spirits. And for us, it's being present in the highest and best way possible in this moment-to-moment experience of life. And also, Easter's next week, and that's about the resurrection. And for me, and you know, in talking with Leila, it's about transforming ourselves too. And it's by going inside to source, to that truth and power that's within ourselves, in connection with the energy of all that is. And so, Leila, you want to say some stuff?
Well, first of all, I want to say that Rebecca says good morning from Northern California.
Hey, Rebecca.
And then maybe for those watching who don't know us, who may not know us, let's quickly introduce ourselves. Would you like to start?
Sure. I'm Judy Dragon, and I'm a theta healer and instructor. And I have many years in holistic healing. And I love what I do. And I work with trauma, people who have had childhood trauma. And, you know, you can read our bios in the webpage if you want to. I'll just turn it over to Leila.
You're an author, Judy. You're a
Oh,
writer.
yeah, that's right. Thank you. Forgot. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's so natural to you probably that you forget to mention it.
I do. I totally do. Yeah.
Okay,
So I wrote the Moving Beyond, the healing of physical and sexual abuse for theta healers. And so, yeah.
The book that started this whole thing, right?
Yeah. And it started our nonprofit.
Right. So my name is Leila Kobehusa. I'm in Belgium. Judy's in California. I'm in Belgium. And I do inner work. I'm a facilitator. I'm also a writer, speaker, visionary. And I work with people. My specialties are HSP, business, working with people who want to make a business out of their soul purpose, and of course, trauma.
So
short and sweet.
Yeah. Every time you do an introduction, I always think, oh, I could have said this or that, but it's all fine.
Okay, what would you like to add? Add one thing.
Oh,
You're a grandmother.
Oh, okay. I'm a grandmother. She has to remind me of these things. But anyway, we're just happy for you all to come on today with us. And we thought we would start with something that connected us all. We're going to do several meditations today, ending with a world meditation. But first, I felt like we all need to give to ourselves first, because oftentimes we give to so many others, and it's so nice to fill ourselves up first. And then we have that energy and consciousness and connection to be there for others. So did you want to add anything, Leila?
I was thinking to just remind you all why.
Uh-oh, Leila's cutting in and out. Oh dear. Leila, you stopped and started, dear. so I didn't hear you.
Okay, am I back now?
You are.
Okay, so I just wanted to remind us all why we do these meditations. Okay, there's a very practical reason for that. Sherry, hi. Sorry.
Hi.
So with so much going on in the world, a lot of people are experiencing what's going on in the world really as traumatizing. And the risk is to have too much chronic stress, even in one day. And so it's really important to come back to ourselves, to, to go inside, as we like to call that, because that is what can get us out of that survival mode. Should we, should our bodies be too much in that energy? And so these little so we're going to balance talking with meditation, so that to give you an opportunity to, balance that mental energy with which you listen, with, just landing, sinking into yourself, into your body, so you can feel that rest. I can't emphasize enough why, meditation matters. And we call it meditation, call it whatever you want. But it's about going inside, connecting with yourself, with source. And there's all sorts of things you can do there. And so, Judy, your meditation today is going to, give everybody the opportunity to experience that.
Right. Thanks. Yeah. It kind of, like I said before, to help to kind of fill us up, to give ourselves love too, because so often we forget about ourselves. So I want to start with, each of you experiencing that. So everyone, just notice your bodies and notice your breaths. And allow your eyes to relax. And as you're breathing and just noticing your body, we're going to let imagination come in strongly. And allow yourself to imagine this beautiful energy from the earth rising up easily and quickly as it moves through your feet, all the way up through the centers of your body, through your crown. And it forms a beautiful ball of light. You're in it or of it, and make it big. Allow yourselves to imagine that it goes through or past the moon, the sun, and through all the stars faster than the speed of light. It now moves through different striations of light and dark, speeding through into a beautiful golden light. Perhaps you've seen this many times, or this is your first experience. Now imagine you're moving through that into a thick, jello-y area. Perhaps you'll see colors or tones, hear tones, or see shapes, but you're not staying there either. Continue. And it's moving through. There's a large opening. You may even see a pink light that you can travel with. But you're going to enter into this white, tingly light. All through, all around that ball of light that you are. Every single atom intermingling. Say to yourself the name that you call this all that is energy, whatever it is. And as you experience this, say to yourself that is requested or commanded to fill me with unconditional love. Imagine this energy, this tingly energy, moving through your physical body, through it, around it, from your head to your toes. Always connected to you and you remembering it. Remember your breath. See that tingly light? Say thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. And open your eyes. And be here now.
Thank you, Judy. So guess who's watching? Our friend Dimitra.
Yay! Hi, Dimitra.
And Sherry says, quick hi, ladies. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
And we have 16 people, 17 people on now.
Awesome. Say hi, so we know who you are.
So Judy, what's the topic today?
So you and I were kind of talking about this thing in how the world is in a certain narrative right now. It's playing out a story. And what's really important is that that's one narrative, but there are others. And how can we shift our consciousness? And what is shifting consciousness really about? And so I found that shifting consciousness is about becoming more aware of what drives us, what stories and beliefs and programs we have and what we're creating from that into action and the decisions we're making in order to create those actions. And so that's a moment-to-moment experience because, we're in choice. And so if you noticed, I mentioned it's also about taking action in the world. And, we can meditate, we can change beliefs, but as Vienna often says, who's our teacher, action is next. And how do we do that action? Do we do it out of fear? Do we do it out of love? Do we do it out of anger? What do we do in making those choices and decisions? Do we come from our heart? So, I'm sure we've all gone through the range of it, these past, few months. And it's really important that, that we look at the virtues that we're working with. For me, the big thing is truth. I'm a truth sharer. There's wisdom. There's so many virtues that can come with how we make our decisions. So I came up with this kind of like little formula. When something comes up, it comes to our awareness. And once that happens, we acknowledge it, like it's there. And then we decide, is this what we want to hold as our truth? And it goes into either acceptance or non-acceptance of it. And then from that point, we can decide whether we want to take action. So anybody have any thoughts about that they want to share?
Yeah, if you have any questions, let us know in the chat, in the comments. So what I want to add to that is not to dismiss or minimize what people are going through right now in the world. what we're saying is we create our reality in each moment. So each moment we have an opportunity to manifest what we want, what we need. And so with so much going on around us, it's essential to focus on what do we want to create in the here and now. And so it's important to first, process your feelings. If there is, if if there is fear or anger or, whatever, because those are not it's important to be grounded before making that choice to create consciously, because then you have more clarity about what you create. So I just wanted to add that and, use my own words or different words so people can really understand what we're talking to. Because, to me, words are about, or terminology is about making sure that they help us to understand each other. It's not so much about the words, but the energy behind the words. Because
Absolutely.
I'm a linguist by education, so that's where I go.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for adding that. Um, so I read an article a couple weeks ago by a man named Charles Eisenstein. I felt so touched by his writings. This particular piece was called The Coronation. And I just wanted to share a quote from it. And he said that, and it resonated to me, and you can feel into it and see what it feels like for you. But he said that the COVID demonstrates the power of our collective will when we agree what's important. What else might we achieve in coherency? And coherency is interconnection and consistency. What do we want to achieve? And what world do we want to create? That is always the next question when anyone awakens to their power. And I just felt that so powerful for me when I read that. How is that for the rest of you?
Yeah, I wonder if you understand what we're saying. What does that bring up for you? Let us know. Because for me too, when I read that article, and I'm gonna share the link to that article in the comments later, by the way. So if you are interested, if there's only one article you read about this whole thing in the world, then let it be that one. It's long, but it's rich, and it has a sense of wholeness to it. Because this is a guy who is an academic. I mean, he has an academic background, right? He has an intellectual background, and he's catching on to the fact that intellectually or academically, we're not going to be able to solve this. We need to gather the emotional, the spiritual, the somatic, and the mental aspects of our human existence to really resolve these complex issues. We have Maria who says hello and thanks. Hi, Maria.
Hi. Any thoughts?
Because he's basically saying, I'm going to say something more.
Okay.
Danielle, I will share the article later in the comments. So at the end of this live, look for this link, and we're going to share many more links so you can access that information that we share. Because one of the things about this article of this person, Charles Eisenstein, what hit me really is that he's listing, different pieces of information that he found in different media, let's say. Like there's the mainstream media, there's less non-mainstream media, and he's basically saying, guys, I don't know what's true. I don't know, but what I do know is this is what I want to create. This is the kind of world that I want to create. And he sees the risks when we choose a different direction. And this is the narrative we were talking about, right?
Right. Yeah.
We get to choose our narrative.
Right. And we're also inviting you to think about, just connecting with your heart, what feels from there and what you want to create. And that can, the resonancy of the heart just is huge. And that can build a field in itself. So Leila has a really cool story of shifting consciousness and witnessing a client. And I think it's an important story to share. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, thanks. Before I do, just going to read some comments. Rebecca says, yes, agree. What do we want to create? What do we value? We are a powerful collective. Yes, we are. We so are. And then Rebecca also says, or is it Sherry? I'm not sure. Sorry if I'm making a mistake here. I think it was well said. I like it. Great.
Yeah, thanks.
And then Danielle says, tuning into that question, the answer actually only came for what I want for this moment. Hey, that's perfect, because this moment is the most powerful moment to create in. All right, so my story. Yes?
Yeah, please.
All right, so first I want to say that I got permission from my clients to share this story. And so this is a person who used to feel a lot of resentments towards the government, felt very constrained and limited by legislation and all of that. And at a certain point in her life, she, let me see, how did it start again? Right. She had a hard time paying a certain portion of her taxes. And she was recommended by, or she was advised by her accountant to call in with the government to request an extension or a payment plan, or, some kind of delay, which is not an unusual thing to do, but my client had a lot of resistance to do that. And so she did a lot of inner work, a lot of it, to feel stable and clear enough to make that phone call. So she made the phone call, and in the prompt, in the automated message that she heard, press 1 for this, press 2 for that. She heard that what she, the request she had could only be done online, that it would not be granted through, telephone. So she hung up. She was like angry. She was like, online, because she thought she had the wrong information from her accountant, because she was like, why am I being told to make this phone call if the procedure is to do it online? The government and the rules, yada yada. Okay. And then she tried to log on online, and it didn't work. She just kept getting error messages. And after another day, she decided, oh, I guess I don't have to force myself to, abide by that rule. I can just make the phone call and say, hey, it's not working online. Can you help me anyway? So this in itself was a small shift for her to think outside the box and to just risk to ask for what she wanted. All right, so she made the second phone call. The first person she talked to told her, oh, lady, this procedure happens online. I cannot help you. And she said, yeah, but I tried online, but I keep getting error message after error message. And the other person on the line was like, okay, I'll transfer you. Have you ever been transferred by the government like that? Okay, so she was like, okay. So she got transferred. The next person told her, oh, well, this is probably not going to be possible because there's only a certain number of payments that I can approve by telephone. And her needs were different. And so the person was like, okay, I'll transfer you. So she got transferred another time. And so this occurred a few times. She got transferred to another person and then another person transferred again. And my client had a really hard time breathing with this, but she kept going. And eventually she got this lady on the line. And the lady was like, oh, okay, so what do you want? This? Okay. What's your, ID number? And she looked up my client's contact information, all of that. And then within 5 minutes, the lady was like, okay, click, 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 and gave her exactly what she wanted, even though officially one could not have been done by telephone, and all the requirements she had officially was not allowed. So, the government had certain rules, but in the end, she got exactly what she wanted. And in 5 minutes, and this lady just granted her what she needed. And she took it. And it was a kind of a miracle, because officially, the government had laid down the rules, and officially what my client wanted was not available. But because she risked to ask for what she wanted, she ended up getting it. And so the big takeaway from that for her, and what I also saw in that story, was that it never was between her and the government. It was between her and Creator. And I think that is so inspiring, that concept, because it goes back to, we create our reality in each moment. And the narrative outside of us may say this is not possible, or this is mandatory. But if we stay with ourselves and keep clearing our limiting beliefs and doing our inner work and taking the risk to ask for what we want, however Creator wants to bring it to us. And when I say Creator, I mean Source, God, whatever you want to call that, unconditional love energy, right? Because I don't want to alienate people with terminology. But that is what we're talking about today. Did I forget something in my story?
No, actually, I thought it was great. I just was really feeling into it with you, and just so appreciated at the end how you tied it together, because that's the importance, is that what you said, it wasn't between her and the government. It was through her and all that is. She had done her inner work. She knew what she needed. And she kept through that process until she saw her need was met. And I love that, because so often we'll say, okay, I don't need that, or I'm just going to be angry at, the government or whoever it is, rather than staying with what she needs and knew had to be done for herself. And also, it brought up for me is the fact that that energy of all that is, that's part of us, supplies our needs. And it doesn't matter whether it looks like it comes through the government or, or whatever. It's there, it's available. But we have to keep remembering that. And when we're in stress, we forget. We forget that that's the source of us, and we're always connected to it. And she didn't, in a sense, go outside of herself, but she had to communicate through her actions, because communication is an action, what her needs were. So how do you all feel about the story, and what's it bring up for you?
Yes, please let us know. How did you like the story? Did it resonate? Have you had something similar happen to you? Do you recognize that pattern of asking for what you want and then kind of letting go of of how it's going to get there, right? Because my client thought she would probably she didn't think this would happen for sure. She did not see that coming. So we already have 2 comments on the story.
Right.
Demetra says, sometimes I personally, or maybe that's not about the story, that was before. Sometimes I personally falter and get so caught up with what is happening in my day-to-day that remembering to shift to the mindset of what I want to create, what tips would you suggest to remember the mindset of creation?
Mm.
Question, Dimitra is asking that question. So Judy, I'm gonna let you think about that. And then Sydney says, great story about creating our reality, Leila. Thank you, Sydney. Rebecca says, yes, great point, Judy. In times of stress, we can forget. Yes, we do. Rebecca also says, I love the story. It is always between us and creator source. Great illustration of that. Yes.
Thanks. Yeah.
Maria says, great story. It reminded me how to proceed with my dentist claim. I can totally see that.
Very
Yes.
cool. I want to address what Demetra said. And I think the points is to center back in our body, remember our breath. And for me, and I don't know if it'll work for you, Demetra, is I just kind of touch my chest and kind of focus in there. And then it kind of reminds me to connect with all that is. And just remind myself that I'm always loved and connected through this energy. And then I'm not alone. I mean, besides knowing my connection to all that is, I know this sounds funny, but I remind myself I can't even go to the bathroom by myself. You know, I have my guides and my angels. I mean, I have a whole entourage, you know, that follows me around. And so it's like, you know, it's not like a lonely place.
I love that. Your spiritual entourage.
Yes.
And, you know, practically for the, you know, there was a point where I actually had my house filled with Post-it notes to remind myself. So everywhere, each room I went into, everywhere I looked, there was this reminder. And there was a time where I just really needed that. So I don't know. Was that helpful, Dimitra? Let us know.
Yeah.
She says, thank you, Judy. That does help. The point of not being alone really hits home. Oh, I love that about everywhere and all the time and at all times. Yeah. Then we also have Danielle who says, love the story. I can relate to the person and also as a government employee.
Oh.
We'll be sending you extra love.
Oh.
Then Rocchio, sorry if I mispronounce your name, says we are creators and
Rosia.
Rocio? Okay. We are creators and this lady created the solution for herself. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And we can all do that. We just have to remember. I mean, we don't have to. We don't have to. We can remember. That's it for the comments.
Okay. So I would like to kind of just put out to all of you to think about, and maybe if you want to jot it down, you know, on the feed also, in all that's going on, what good things do you feel are coming out of this for you? Just really feel into that.
And by this, you mean maybe just it's clear to people.
So there's so much going on every single day. And, you know, it can jolt us with some of the information. And so in having to gather in your own home, some of you by yourselves, some of you with family, where you wish you had space more, think, what good things am I getting out of this situation now? And if you can write it in the comments, I think it would help everyone. And also, if that's a little, you know, heady, just touch your chest and feel that tingly light and let it come to you.
I can give you an example. For me, this is so motivating me to focus on my soul purpose, like nobody's business.
Yeah.
How about you, Judy? Do you have an example to share?
Yeah. It's also feels like my sole purpose. It feels like also I've always played the background and I'm being pushed into the foreground, and it's a different position for me. And I'm getting used to that, but I feel it's aligned with my purpose.
So if you want to feel into this yourself and let us know. Dimitra says, I could use some wallpaper of post-it notes. In response to what I said about the post-it notes. So maybe it just
Okay. Well, you
takes a
can jot it
while.
down. Yeah, you can jot it down as you're feeling into that. And so,
One more comment.
oh, good. Okay.
Danielle says, I'm glad to be reminded. I love what this lady in the story did and that it is not between the government and her. And I missed Judy's question, but it's about what the quarantine and all does to us. If yes, I feel also very redirected to my purpose. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Danielle.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel that.
And maybe some people don't know what their purpose is, you know, and if that comes up, think about what you feel really passionate about, what you really love and feel passionate and perhaps want to bring to the world and never thought you could, because that's a good place to start.
So Danielle also lets us know that she notices that it takes a while before the comments reach you guys, us guys. So that's good to know. Thank you for letting us know. Because now there's a few more comments that came through. Rebecca says, I am getting a stronger connection to creator source and my own personal power. I am being able to be more in the present moment because I really must as a way to cope with the situation. Also, I am feeling more grateful and appreciative of my connection with others. And I agree with Judy about being more in my purpose as well. Thanks.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Maria says, soul purpose for me also. I had a dream last night where I was kind of commanded to fulfill my cosmic purpose in this life. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Thanks for sharing that.
Dimitra says, the entire situation is helping me to focus on what it is that I really want in my life and what I want to create going forward. It is really clarifying things at many levels as well.
Wow. Thanks, Dimitra.
Sydney says, when I go out and take a walk, everyone is very friendly, even though they stay farther away. People are waving and calling out hellos.
Wow.
I'm noticing that too. I have the same experience, Sydney. People are a lot friendlier and a lot more open to connect, even though physically they're keeping their distance. Beautiful. Thank you so much for commenting.
Yeah. So we want to get into some creators' teachings?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So we have a few beautiful downloads for you guys. Do you want to say something about them first?
Yeah, for those who don't know what that means, creators' teachings are concepts that our body or psyche don't have. And, you know, it just goes through us and it connects in through our neurobiology. And so we get to have a shift of consciousness through them. And that's what we use in theta healing. And so Leila's going to read them out, and I'm going to witness that energy coming through all of you. And all you need to do is say yes to yourself. And you can receive them. And you may experience it as a lightning or a tingly. And if you don't want to accept it, you can say no. So everything's in choice. And I kind of received these teachings through going over the material that we were going to talk about and kind of use the patterns from that. And of course, you can, those of you that are theta healers, you can expand on this, of course, and give yourself what you need. So, play with it, have fun, and see what you feel like afterwards. And part of the reason we're doing it before, because the next part, we're going to do a world meditation. And so that we can participate together in seeing, after having received, that now we can give out. So
Yeah.
I'm going to feel into all that is, and you can read it out, and people can say yes or no to themselves, and we'll get going.
Okay. And so before I do that, there's a few more comments I'd like to read.
Okay, cool.
So first of all, Crystal, you're watching. How cool. Hello. And John says, I find that aligning with purpose energizes my life.
Cool.
Rocio says, I work in a grocery store and most people are much more appreciative. I am so glad that you are having that experience.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'll be reading those downloads. And so they're like, okay, never mind. So
also, I just want to say, relax with this. You have the choice, and maybe just close your eyes just to feel it as it occurs, if you want.
Yeah. So close your eyes and just go inside, just be with yourself and just see what it's like to when you hear the download, if you want it or not, feel into it, dip your toe in it, or give us your sacred yes, whatever feels right to you. So would you like to know what it feels like, how to, when to, the possibility of, that it's safe, that you're worthy, deserving, and good enough, that you can or do? Readjust your focus readjust your focus within first to take action outside. To live without feeling guilty or angry for how others make their choices of action. So Judy, tell me when you're ready for the next ones.
Okay.
Use divine wisdom and discernment to step into action and allow for all your feelings while being able to pace yourself and take aligned action.
Okay.
To accept all your feelings as navigational directions and data. To live without judging your feelings or emotions.
Okay.
To live without comparing your feelings or situation to another's, and to align your needs through all that is.
Okay.
To live without feeling that your needs are too much for all that is, and to live without having to sacrifice yourself or your needs to participate in changing old structures.
Okay.
To find balance between your needs and those of others who you want to participate with, and experience divine truth and earthly truths without overwhelm.
Okay.
to have capacity for divine truth and earthly truths, and to see the deepest perspective of the divine truth and still understand the earthly paradigm level of truth.
Okay.
To have acceptance of earthly truth while taking aligned action, to create community with those who you feel aligned with, and to have the discernment to know who to trust by going within.
Okay.
Sorry about those beeps. Did you hear the beeps?
I did. I didn't know what they were, but
I actually want to share what they were. This was my mom saying, "How did the live go?"
so fun.
Yeah.
How are you all doing?
Yeah, people, let us know. What was it like to receive those downloads? Did they resonate? Let us know why yes or maybe why no.
And then if this was new for you, if you experienced anything or felt something different within yourself.
Yeah, did you feel them or some of them really come in? And what was that like for you? We have a comment. Hi, Carla. I'm so glad you're here. Carla says, I feel that the world is changing to be more open to the new paradigm. I feel a desire for this quarantine to end and I can work on my life purpose in contact with people, bringing good energy to this world.
Oh, thank you. We need it all, for sure.
Thank you for commenting. Deidre says, those were really powerful and I could feel energetic shifts and things clearing. Loved it.
Cool.
Rebecca says, good downloads. I really felt a few right in my heart. Powerful. Oh.
Good.
Maria says, yes, some of them resonated a lot. Some were a bit distant, but all yes. Cool. Thanks for letting us know. Danielle says, didn't get the first one. We'll listen again later. No worries. The other downloads were beautiful and the same, and they came in mostly, she says.
Great. Okay, so do you see anything else, Leila? Okay. So we've also gathered today for a world meditation. And I know that, different groups have been doing it. And I just really felt in my heart I wanted to participate in something that was non-dualistic, meaning it wasn't for or against anything. It was just out of love to give to the world wherever you felt it was important. So we do it individually. Years ago, when I used to do practicums, we used to do what was called, or I called, grid work. So we would go to this tingly light and we would pick an area in the world or, people we wanted to send love to or where we were directed by Creator. And we would send this unconditional love. And one of the things that was amazing for me is that one of the times we did this, I was called to send unconditional love to a nuclear reactor in South Korea. I have no idea why it came up, but that's where I was told to go. And I found out 2 weeks later that nuclear power plant was shut down. And I was in shock. I went, oh, that's so cool. So we don't know sometimes how we affect things, but love is the most powerful source because it just is. And so this opens us to magic and miracles. And that's where I want to participate in those virtues, in the ability to make change, in the highest and best way and have fun at it. So that's kind of how I'm holding the energy of this world meditation. And just to say, there's a couple of ways you can imagine this, because everything is done through our imagination. I'm going to take you up to that tingly light again. And you can imagine in that tingly light, like different screens of people or places that you want to send unconditional love to. Or you can imagine different scenes of what things look like in a new vision. So freeing yourself up to say, okay, this is kind of what I want to create. This is what I want to envision. And really feel into that so future changes can happen. Because remember, there are many trajectories of energies, of timelines. And when we clear our own beliefs or, work with others to do that, we get to have different lines that are created that feel the highest and best. And when we do that as a group, it's very powerful. And remember, as I mentioned last week, is that we're changing old structures. And they don't really benefit us now. We got used to them because we were raised since birth or before in them. And we incarnated so many times, through these structures. But a lot of them are coming down. How do you want to see them different? And so imagine bringing up the most loving possibilities of how you want these new structures to look like. Again, kind of like futurizing. So just some ideas. Ooh, how many comments, Leila?
I love it. Yeah, I just wanted to go back to what you said is just so important. And this is how the work we do with data healing is different. We're not fighting anything in order to win. We're not fighting the old structures to win from them. We are focusing in the here and now to create what we want, to recreate something that might serve us better. Because you guys know this, right? When you fight something, well, you need it to stay into existence so you can fight it. So you actually keep it alive. You co-create it. And if you want something else, it's a lot more efficient just to get out of that fighting, to get out of that struggle, to allow the others or whatever is different to exist if that's what they want, but to focus on what you want to create.
And what you just said, I want to bounce off of, because that's, to me, the forgiveness process.
It is.
We bring it back. We don't focus against it, but we bring our energy back to ourselves and say, what do we want to do with that? What is it for us? Not attached to them, whatever them is, but to us.
Yeah. Forgiveness means to clear however the other had impacted you so that you can move forward without being attached to it, to the other, to whatever it is that you are forgiving.
And also you mentioned the word fight, okay, which is a dualistic principle, okay? And also, if we look somatically at trauma, and I mentioned this last week, was the fight, flight, freeze, fawn response that occurs somatically. And so if we're out to fight someone, what happens in our body? Our adrenals kick in. Our brain chemistry becomes imbalanced. Do we want that? Do we want to do it a different way?
And so it's not about making that wrong, because it's pretty human to to have that fight response come up. But we don't have to stay in it all the time. As soon as we're aware of it, we can bring ourselves back, right?
Right. And that's the somatic, exercise we did last week.
Yeah.
So,
I like it.
any questions before we go into it?
Yeah, I wonder, is this clear to everyone? Do you have questions about this? Because this is pretty much one of the most important concepts that is in our message. That is what non-duality is about. That is why the work we do, theta healing technique, is so, in my opinion, advanced. Rocio says, I want to send unconditional love to human trafficking leaders, and I want to create real freedom to every human being.
Oh, thank you. Please, as we do this meditation, then do that.
Wow. I feel so touched in reading that.
Me too.
Sorry, go ahead, Judy.
No, I just said me too. I just felt very touched.
Rebecca says, great points about the fight, Leila. Thank you. Carla says, this is so important. Focus on the present, creating a new reality. Yes, because that's how existence works. Each moment, literally, poof, 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 we are manifesting, creating our reality. It's like technically that's what is occurring. So we might as well focus or, consciously choose what it is that we want to create in each moment. And that here and now moment is the most powerful point to create from.
Right.
Danielle says, great insight about the link, fight adrenals. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So I just invite everyone in to take a deep breath and resettle back into your being and body, relaxing your eyes, just noticing your breath as you imagine this beautiful energy from the earth coming up through your feet. And it continues to go up through all the centers, also called chakras, through your crown. It forms a beautiful ball of light, and you're in it or of it, and make it big. Imagine that it goes past the moon, the sun, and through all the stars, faster than the speed of light. It swishes through striations of light and dark. It continues into a beautiful golden light. You're not going to stay there. You're going to move through into a thick, jello-y area. Continue through that. Perhaps you'll see a pink light, and you can follow that. That's compassion. And you'll see the opening to move into the white, tingly light. Feel that white, tingly light of unconditional love. It just is. Say to yourself what you call this energy. And say to yourself, it is commanded or requested to send unconditional love to the people or places that feel coming from my heart to help make the changes and participate in the changes on the planet now. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And allow yourself to imagine it right now and send it. When you feel that you have seen or felt that unconditional love wherever you sent it, bring yourselves back to you in this moment, in that tingly light. Receive your breath and release it. And you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Judy. That was really beautiful. People, let us know what this was like for you. What did you see? What did you create? What do you want to share with us? We want to receive it all. Love to read you. Is there something you would like to share yourself, Judy?
I have this, I'm still teary. I feel a little bit vulnerable right now. I kind of bounced off of what Rocio said, and I sent it to the children all over the world that are being trafficked.
Yeah, very meaningful. I just love sharing this moment of silence with you all. Because even in those moments of silence, there's so much in it. Love is in it. Unconditional love is in it. I feel deeply connected with you, with everybody who's online right now.
Me too.
So glad you guys are here. Can I read you some comments?
Yeah.
Maria says, thank you, Judy and Lana. And 2 hearts. And Demetra says, or do you want to respond?
I think I'm just, thank you. Thank you very much.
Demetra says, that really felt so lovely, grounding, and deeply compassionate. I'm flooded with love and peace. Oh. Maria says, I sense to all the children on this planet that they are safe and protected always. Wow. Thank you, Maria. Rebecca says, I saw many different people that I know and send it to them individually. Then I saw New York, London, Seattle, Butte country or county where I live, and Idaho where my dad lives, and then to the entire world and to the animals. I then saw the darkness, and I send it to wherever there is dark.
Thanks.
Sydney says, I felt a sort of pantry, like universal storage center of love, so people in need could easily tap into it. Just go to the pantry.
I love it.
That's so creative. And get what they need. So I was witnessing the pantry getting stocked with love and deep relaxation.
Oh, I love it. That's so beautiful.
My God, I would so high five you.
Paint it. I want you to paint that, Sid.
That's it for the comments so far. So Judy, would you like to proceed, or is there anything else you want to say around that world meditation?
No, I don't have anything more to say. I'm just coming back to my mental phase right now, having been in my emotions right through that.
I'm so glad you shared that with us.
So we want to check in with everyone. Somebody have a comment? No, okay.
I was just going to propose, shall I just do the last section?
Please.
Okay. So people, we have come to the end of our Facebook Live. We're almost finished. We really hope that it was valuable to you. Let us know what it was. I mean, you already did let us know. Let us know again. No, I mean, I'll speak to myself, but I think Judy, you will agree. We love doing this, this live interaction with you guys. It's just awesome. And let us know if you want us to do it again. We asked this last time as well. You said yes, and here we are. If you want us to do this again, let us know. Because it's like, without you, the audience, there is no us or doing this either. So it's a co-creation.
And it also creates community.
Yeah, yeah. Sydney says, yes, please keep doing it.
Oh, thanks, Sid.
She also says, thank you so much, Judy and Leila. This was lovely. Danielle says, I'm having a hard time sharing. Saw some images I didn't understand, but let the energy flow through it as it came up. Next to that, I saw some people that I know. It was beautiful. Maria says yes to doing it again. Rocio says, yes, let's do it again, please. Thank you.
Great.
Yay. Carla says, thank you for this initiative. Yes, I would like again. Thank you. Carla, I'm so glad you made it. So, yes, before we leave, before we say goodbye, we wanted to reiterate all the resources we have available for you in support of your healing and helping others heal. Because, you know, we have a website, the movingbeyondtraumaproject.org. We'll put the links. John says, thank you. Very comforting. The world needs this. Thank you, John. Thank you. Rebecca says, thanks, ladies. Love you all. Yes to more. Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca.
So those resources, so the movingbeyondtraumaproject.org. We have a bunch of free resources on our website. So we have our podcast, which is audio only, which you can listen to whenever, you know.
Are they on Spotify now?
Yes, we are on Spotify. We're not on iTunes yet, but Spotify, if you have Spotify, look for our podcasts there. There's one season that we finished, the winter season. We don't know yet when the next season is going to happen because we're doing these Facebook Lives now. Then we also have a sign-up page where you can leave us your email address if you want to be notified of our new initiatives. So whenever we come up with new stuff to do, whether it be a new podcast episode or a new Facebook Live, if you wish to be notified when we do something in the world, go to that page and sign up, and we will, you know, I'm going to put the links in there right after I'm finished speaking. You want to say something about the...
No.
Are you ready to speak again, Judy?
Sure. Just to say that we are a nonprofit and we are able to take U.S. tax exempt for any donations that you feel, you know, you'd like to contribute. And we're also looking for volunteers to help us move our work forward. Again, you know, we work with the healing of childhood abuse and trauma, and this affects the whole world. So we have a very big mission in getting our teachings and resources out there. And you can contact us through the movingbeyondtraumaproject.org to do that. Leila, you want to say more?
I just put the links in the comments.
Okay. And there's, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's the link to the Charles Eisenstein article. If you'd like a good read, seriously, that is the article to go to. It is so rich and very loving as well. Then the link to the free resources to our website, link to the donations. If you want to donate either some money or your time, so the link to the volunteers. The volunteering is also there. Then the link to stay informed of our initiatives where you can sign up with your email address. And then we are also available for individual sessions, you know, as always. So the link is in there as well if you would like some personal support with, you know, through a theta healing session. Yeah. So let me know if you can see the links now. And then Rebecca says the podcasts are great.
I so appreciate you watching them all, Rebecca.
And she says, thank you. Thank you. Danielle also said there was a baby in the Atana prayer group that had heart surgery, and he was the first one who came up in her visualization earlier. Grateful to have been able to send some more for him.
Great.
And she says, we see the links. Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for showing up this morning and for participating in creating this group community energy. If this was new for you, there's YouTubes on Theta Healing, there's the Theta Healing books. And, if you have questions afterwards, go ahead and place them and we'll take a look at it and see if we can, answer them if it, doesn't take up 5 paragraphs or something.
Yeah, so if you are watching this as a rewatch, not live, and you have questions you want to share, please do put it in the comments. We will look at them and get back to you if we can.
And let
Rebecca
other
says,
people know too that we do these. And, if you found it valuable, turn other people on to it.
right. Invite people to like our Facebook page.
Yeah.
If that resonates. Rebecca says, this is powerful. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I wish I could offer you all a hug to say goodbye.
Oh,
That
you
would truly
can.
be mine. What's that?
The virtual.
Yeah. Or a high five, if a hug is too much too soon. I get that. All right. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Not for me.
Okay, people, thank you so much for being here. And make sure to sign up so we can let you know, for our mailing list, so we can let you know when we do this again or when we do other stuff. Because let's stay connected. If this resonated, make sure to stay connected with us.
Bye.
Let me look for that stop button now. Okay, here we go. Bye.
Bye.